Hello and welcome to Relationship Rhetoric. I'm your host, Unapologetically Angela. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm creating a series of interviews with teachers that I have met in my process of teaching abroad here in Egypt. Today's guest is one of the ladies that I really feel like was a kindred spirit of mine. So it's really exciting to be able to, oh my God. I'm sorry, technical difficulties. Give me a second, waiting on her to get there she is. It's okay.
I was like, hold on, what is this? I thought it was just gonna be me and you on Zoom. Like I didn't even think about.
It's
Oh,
okay. You nobody's on here but us.
okay, cool.
No, I'm just recording it.
My head, I just went like this because I was like, what is this?
Mm-mm. No, it's just us. It's just
Okay,
us.
all right.
It's just us. Okay, so I just finished interviewing Christine, but I really, really needed and want an interview with um a black woman. A black woman who is teaching abroad, who has dealt with real life things and want to know, what has this process taught you? What have you learned about yourself? What, if anything, could be better? So I guess my first thing is, when did you start this teaching abroad thing? When did you know that teaching abroad was something you wanted to do?
I've always known that I wanted to teach abroad or use my talents and skills abroad. When I ended my career, my stint in Atlanta before I moved to California, I wanted to go and do Job Corps, or was it actually? It started when I was in my master's degree program at University of Minnesota. I went and I applied for Teach for America. I wanted to do something like that, and then I wanted to be able to take it abroad, but I didn't end up going. So then I did like, was it Job Corps? It wasn't Job Corps. It was something else that I can't think of. It was something like that, where you could go and volunteer anywhere. Um, but I went to all of the interviews. I did all of the research, and I did not end up doing it because I got a teaching opportunity at home, and I needed to just stay closer to home. Long story short, I told myself when I had the opportunity to go, I would. And COVID was the perfect opportunity. The pandemic, I think with everybody, we just were able to sit down and self reflect and really assess where we were at that time and what we wanted to be doing, really wanted to be doing. So I took the advantage of researching Teach Away, use Teach Away as an avenue of finding, and I was just applying anywhere. I did not have a destination. So, yeah, I've known for quite some time. I mean,
you you say you were applying everywhere, but what is one place that would have said, hey, Miss Herring, come here? You would have said absolutely not to.
um, I don't know. I really didn't think about it. I wanted to go anywhere. An absolutely not probably would have been something. And then the first thing that popped in my head was like Haiti. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Just because it stays in some kind of utter chaos, confusion, and economic crisis. Um, just like I wouldn't want to teach in Louisiana, just
Mm.
because just too much, So it's actually interesting because I ended up here in Egypt, and I'm learning that it is sort of kind of almost the same, except for they have resources. They have some resources, but they're still kind of struggling the same way. We just have the privilege of being able to work with a private school with, you know, relatively wealthy families for this society. So
Mm, okay. So what was your first teaching abroad experience?
this one,
This was
this
your first?
this has been my first time leaving the country, coming this far away. Because my first time leaving the country was going to Mexico. Then I went to Jamaica. And so this is like my third attempt to get further, and I went all the way out. I looked straight like the prodigal son. I went a little too far.
Yep, yep. Okay, okay. So you went, but Mexico was visiting. Jamaica was visiting.
Those were vacations.
Okay, okay, all right. So how did your family take to you announcing your job in Egypt? No,
They
no.
were straight ignorant. They acted very, very ignorant. Um, because all they really could do was be emotional. You know, they did not understand. Um, I had fights with my mom, like telling the truth kind of fights, like stuff that you wouldn't dare say, but I don't care. I'm gonna say what I gotta say because I'm gonna get it all off my chest. Like I'm hurt. My dad still to this. I think my dad was so hurt that he won't even. He still won't talk to me. Like we it messed up our relationship. Um. So when my sister passed away, and then my sister passed away like right the year before COVID. It was like it was the same year as COVID actually. It was like 2019, so it was March 2019 and my sister passed away in May.
Oh yeah.
So we still our family was going through a lot of we were still grieving, but it was fresh grief. Um and then I don't mean to just sound but you know, I had my dog for 15 years and I had to put my dog down. And I knew like when I put my dog down, I knew I was disconnected from my emotions. Like I just disconnected because I didn't feel anything. Like I was just like, I had to do it for her. But all of that said, like when I made the decision to do it, it was like up under a lot of grieving and a lot of things that needed to be broken. Like there was a yoke over our family that just needed to be broken, and I've always been a big believer in like breaking curses and you
Mhm.
know being like a change agent in my family. So there's like a lot of hope in my mind, like in my thought process. I feel like my generation in my family are the ones that are going to bring the changes. And so we're the ones who are not afraid to do the work and be obedient and those things like that. So like there's a lot of faith behind it and a lot of support that I got from my cousin, just my cousin, but everybody else was like really straight up about what they thought and felt because they felt like if they told me the truth, then at least like if I made my decision, they I would know exactly how everybody felt, and I would be weighing all of those things, you know, against my own judgment. Like I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna tell you everything. So I had some very bitter arguments with some people who are very close to me.
Understand. I definitely went through some strange transitions that I wasn't really prepared for. But anyway, your first year here, how was it?
You know what? I kept my mouth closed all last year. Just because like I'm amazed how different I am this year than I was last year, and I was really thinking about it just today. It last year I kept my mouth closed because I was up under such. I felt up under such an anointing for myself, I would say. Um, and so I was calling myself just being obedient and being still and listening. So I was kind of feeling like I was under a sort of guidance or direction. And so I kept my mouth closed. I was still in silent a lot. I was observing people. I was very observant. I didn't say a lot. I was just felt like I was just guided. Um, So I kept my mouth closed. I observed a lot. Um, I wasn't trying to be everywhere because I felt like that was too overwhelming. And I was just trying my best to pick and choose places and situations that brought me peace and made me feel connected to this place, because I saw too a lot of people being scattered, and I wanted to, because you see how when you come here there's an opportunity to be everywhere. They invite you to all the things right away, and people want to take you here and take you there, and I'm very sensitive to vibes and people and situations. So I started to like distance myself away from certain people who were like that because it was too much, and I didn't want people to affect my experiences like that. I wanted to be seeing things as they were. So I avoided a lot of situations just because of that. Because still, I was here on a personal journey. It wasn't necessarily to be all over the place exploring Egypt. It was about me. I wanted to be doing things that I needed to do spiritually for myself.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, Mhm.
what's different this year?
This year, I'm more focused on, okay, I reflect on how I experienced last year, and now this year I'm more kind of determined to see things and go places, because I do want, some memories in these different places. Like I'm now saying I didn't come out here to sit in the house. I came out here to see things now. I'm ready. I feel like I have relationships now and I can trust people. Um, and when you go somewhere for the first time, you're overwhelmed. Everything, you're like hypersensitive. So everything is too much. And so I feel like I have like a firm foundation, like not a firm foundation, but a layer there where there's some familiarity, and now I'm able to be like, okay, I can process two or more things, without feeling like, I don't it's just, I don't know, I needed to be steeped in. I just needed to be steeped in. And now I feel like I have had some time to be here. I can get like more quality experience out of what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. And so that was one of the things that made you interesting to me because another interview, a person made a wonderful statement. When you are thrown or you throw yourself in these situations, you truly find out who you are and what you need. So, how would you say, what have you learned about yourself? And it's very interesting. You came here fresh off grieving, fresh off of needing to get away. What have you learned about yourself?
I pretty much realized that I made a good decision in terms of how I choose to make decisions for myself. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I knew before I came here that I could do it. So, but there was so much reservation. Like, I almost didn't because I got scared. And so I learned that trusting myself and taking that leap of faith is worth it, because when you are proving, like when you're in the proving ground, when you prove that you can do it, you get that self-confidence. So I learned about myself that I really can do life the way I set out to do it. Um, because my next phase is retirement. And we have what, like 5 to 7 years, maybe 10 years before we go. And this could be a career change. So what this is showing me is whatever I decide to do next, I'm capable. I can, flip it and reverse it, like, you know, and I really can do it. Like, I'm serious. I'm like, dang, I show myself like, whoa, and I think a lot of that is because I'm quiet, because I'm still, because I'm an introvert, because I'm to myself, and I don't rely. I really don't kind of need people to do much now. I really do need to learn how to go somewhere by myself. But I mean, I can't even do that at home. I feel like, I need two
Right,
people.
right,
Um, but yeah. I learned that I can trust myself, and I learned that I can trust in my faith, in my belief system, you know, to ground myself in whatever I'm doing, because you take these leaps And then you're like, you looking around like, did I do the right thing? And it's like, God is like, yeah, you did what I told you to do. I got you. And if
Right.
you follow that belief pattern and those ideas, and you're okay. I feel like I can do anything.
Nice. So what does retirement look like for you? Because you've been talking about retirement since I met you. What does that look like for you?
Retirement looks like I really do like I have this idea of being on that farm, like
Yeah.
honest. And I have the idea of, okay, he can go off and do his part. But I'm gonna learn how to grow some tea, and I'm gonna learn how to sell some tea, and then I'm gonna learn how to sell other things. Like I see myself owning a little shop or something, and telling stories about things that I've done and things that I do when I'm in the field growing things. Like I just want to be somebody's old lady who just lives off the land and sells things and talks to people, which is ironic for me, but you know, I think the older I get, the more I'm going to want to share with people, because I don't think I'm going to have children. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be having kids, but I'm still going to have somebody's children. I'm still going to want to be sharing some, because I'm a teacher, and I'm going to want to have that same interaction, I think, as I get older. So, and I love the fact that he is over there doing, what he does. And that's what interests me in him. So I think that like that's a good, way for me to figure out the next part of my life.
Did you ever think that you would be, have you ever been like into agriculture and gardening and just out in nature like that? No? Wow.
That recently developed, I think I have friends, and I think really, I don't know where black people, we all just decided we needed to start growing stuff. And then it came into the inner cities and we had these urban gardens and things.
Mhm.
I thought was really cool. And it was really like when I was in Atlanta visiting my friends, it influenced me like, we really do need this and we need to take care of ourselves. And then I think, with the pandemic and the food shortage coming, I allowed him to convince me that it's necessary for us. This is our heritage actually, because we started. This is why they took us. And then now we're less than 12%. We're not even less than 12, we're less than 5% of the American population with our own farms. Like industrial farms that supply you know the food chain in America. Like we are missing out. And then even if you go to Jamaica, like a lot of everybody's a farmer. And I don't know how I just gravitated towards it because I thought it was interesting. And then yeah, it just came out of that. Just we need food. Food is essential. Food is something that people are always going to need. And wouldn't
Right.
it be a good idea to invest in that, in your retirement, because you know that that's something that's necessary.
Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds like it was divine. You were being listened to. So, what do you think your next step is after Egypt?
Well, I sent off my resume because I updated my Teachaway profile because it's time to go. And it's like I already got one interview request from Panama. So I sent off all the
Oh,
requests all over the world, specifically places that have visa free ish, things for Jamaicans so that my boyfriend can get wherever I am. So I honestly like there's a list of visa free countries for Jamaica, and I just went off of that list, and I don't even know half of these places. I was just like, if they send me an interview request,
you
I'm just
going?
I'll research it.
Yeah, yeah. I like that.
Panama is a dope idea though, like, but they only
Yeah.
$100 a month. I'm like, I want to go to Panama, but I don't want to be broke in Panama. So I got to research the cost of living, and I got to research the school and see what it's like, because I definitely don't want to end up at another Met. Because if I end up at another Met, I'm a go crazy, and it's gonna force me into early retirement, and I don't think that I need to leave the teaching field just yet.
Just yet. Just yet. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. 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 Okay. Something else that I noticed about you. Have you ever thought about, or have you ever been an administrator?
No, I remember I thought about being an administrator, so I into because people have been pushing me, and this last time, like right before I left my job, like somebody put my name in there because they offer credentialing, administrative credentialing. They'll do like a tuition reimbursement.
Hmm.
And so somebody put my name in, and then it was like a group effort to push me in. Like they just needed me to do it. And so I did it because I wanted to help other people do it. Like that was my thought process. And so I knew I wasn't going to finish, but I don't see myself in administration. So I'm not, if I did see myself in administration, I would be in administration. But I saw it as a way to get other people firmly planted. And then I pulled out, like, I was already passing my tests and doing all the work like the way I am with you guys, like when I make stuff up and then I give it out, like I was doing that for my cohort. Like I was already finishing work, already reading all the materials, doing everything, and then sending it out. We all took the test at the same time, so I passed the first part of my admin credential. There's two more parts that I have 10 years to complete if I decided I want to do that, but I like really did well. Like I was looking at the rubric and I was comparing and I did very well. So I know I could do that, but it's to me it's stressful. I would not be happy. I would rather work with babies. I would rather work with children. Even the thought of working with fifth graders pisses me off and makes me get upset and start venting about stuff that didn't even happen. Like I'll be like, I wish somebody would already, and then it don't even.
You don't exist.
I said, I don't like adults.
Especially, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Even though the working with children is stressful, they're children, and there's a certain level of understanding that we give children. So I get that. I get that. Wow.
When adults start acting like, I mean, even my boyfriend is a child. Like when adults start acting like children, it's unacceptable. And he is the only person in my life that I will just like I will go in because no, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So it's like for me, if I like you see how I struggle with certain people, and I still haven't figured things out. And I go back and forth, and I'm like, I couldn't do this as a career because I would be telling people something left and right, and then having to go back and apologize to folks.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. If you could if you could give advice to a black teacher, a woman who's wanting to teach abroad, what would it be?
I would, if I could give advice, I would say do it because you matter when you show up in any environment that you're in because we're scarce everywhere. And we're scarce for different reasons. Like we are special, we are unique, even in our own country, because we have the history. And then when we step out of our country and we exist as who we are in some other country, we're still not those black people. We're still who we are in our existence. And we have something to bring. We have a special ingredient to bring to any and every place we go. And I firmly believe that we're here, we're planted for a purpose. And so it's like if you hold yourself from things and situations that you know you should be in because you feel it, then that's what you should be doing. And so if you feel like you're supposed to go and do that, believe me, all you have to do is understand that it's okay. And then from there, just be led. And don't worry about what the future is going to be. Don't worry. Just have something in mind and go with it. This life is meant to be lived. It's not meant to be you're not supposed to be scared about stuff because how do you're supposed to enjoy yourself. I mean, I understand like people have traumas and things like that, but you're supposed to go and figure out why, what the trauma is. And even if you need to go and be by yourself, with my family, it's like all of that happened, all that little bubble, that cluster, and then all that grief and in that one place, it was like, I gotta go back to the land of bondage to free myself. Come back over here where we was last in bondage just to get free. And
Woo.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you should just go find your freedom. Go find a way to be free.
Well
And
said.
don't stay anywhere too long. Keep it moving. Keep that
Mm-hmm.
energy going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you, Sharnita. I know by now you'd probably be asleep or either
I was
doing work, sending us emails. What time is it? 7:26.
I was the only reason why I went ahead and do the sign up genius is because I know that thing. I never know how to do it. Because every time we have to do it, it's too much. And I always have to rely on Dina's checklist thing. And she messed us up because I didn't have the dates in there, right? Like we all want to walking around because nobody read Matt's memo, even though like these last two memos were the most important ones that he sent. That last memo, if everybody had read it, they wouldn't have been walking around talking about, do we have to go to work? Would the children come on Wednesday? Like it says the children are out. And even last year, the children were out. And it's from 8 to 4. And I scheduled that last conference last year. The last conference I scheduled at 4 o'clock. I ain't never doing that again. That last conference is at 3:50
That's
because
correct.
it's from 8 to 4. Period.
That's that's right.
And I hold fast to 10-minute conferences. We're going to start on time. We're going to end on time, especially if we don't know if the next one is walking through the door or if the next one is going to be online virtual. So
Right.
I don't confuse anybody anymore because I already know that it's confusing. So it's like if I do it and I know what I'm doing, then I can tell you guys. Like the thing with our map testing, that threw me off because I was processing what I was trying to do in my classroom. And that's a lot because we got to put the username, the password. The kids need to sit down. You know, I got to make sure that they're ready. People asking for bathroom breaks. And then here she come in talking about which one did you order. I was like, girl, if you don't get out of here with asking me that right now, and it's time to take the test. But that's because they didn't make it clear. And so she came in and checked on me to make sure that you were doing the right thing. And I'm like, why would you even need to come and check on me to make sure she's doing the right thing if you know the information? So it threw me off. That threw me off. So I went in there and I was like, maybe I did get it wrong. Like that kind of thing. So it's like now because we have so much confusion where there doesn't need to be confusion, I'm like, man, this is like double taxing for me. I didn't have this problem last year. We did not have these issues. It's crazy.
It's intense. That's
It's
all I
very
got. It's
neat.
intense. It's intense. From the time we walk in the door until we leave. It's intense. But I appreciate you, Sharon. I appreciate your transparency. This is very helpful. I like when people are just honest. I mean, it is what it is. So thank you. Get some rest. I'm going to start on my sign up genius until I fall asleep because I'm familiar with it. I just got to get the email addresses. That's what I'm not familiar with, their email addresses.
Yeah, just go in. That's the tedious part because you got to keep going in and cutting and
Yes.
pasting, and then you're
Yes.
gonna mess up something if you don't do the comma or the line break. Then all the email addresses after that line break or comma are
Won't
gonna be.
matter. Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
okay. So I
Yep.
put everything in one document, checked it, and then pasted it over.
Okay. Did you purchase those? I know you didn't, but I'm going to ask anyway. The pictures on your wall?
Nope.
I didn't think so. We're not here to stay. That's it.
No. This is
That's
a
it.
nice wall, huh? It's beautiful. This
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful. So
All right. Well, rest well, and I'll see you in the morning. Thank
I
you.
I good night.
Wow. That was just girl talk. It's so nice to have, I love people. So it's not about color, but it is a different experience here, guys. We are I think it's five of us at this school, and it's a huge four-story school. And we are the only African American teachers, female teachers there. There are no males, no African American males there at all. There are no, the only children that are of African descent, African American descent, and when I say American, were born in America, are those of the teachers who work there. So everyone else is Egyptian. Um, yeah, everybody else in the school is Egyptian. So, we are the minority over here, and we are the minority in the community. It's really nice when you are my community. Know me, they speak, they check in on me and whatever when I'm out and about, when I'm walking. Um, so that's appreciative. But Sharnita and I have developed a relationship to where we understand when we're older, she's the same age that I am. And so when you get past 45, your tolerance level for certain things, when you've been teaching for so long, there's a certain structure, even in the midst of your chaos, that you're expecting. Certain things just shouldn't be happening in a system of education, a system where there's administration in place. So it's been very interesting. It's making me very appreciative. I know that education in the States is not as much of a priority as it should, but I have to say that the structure of it and how the teachers have a stable income coming in. It may not be the greatest, but it's a stable income coming in. You know that your taxes are being taken out. You know that this, and that, and the other is being paid for. You don't have that system here. You don't have that system here. If anything happens and the economy crashes overnight, you may not get paid, or you may not get all of your money. You may get your Egyptian money, but you're going to get this, you're going to get that. So it's very difficult, and it makes it, again, an interesting work environment, especially for people who are not from here and who are not used to this. But the learning experience and getting to know these people and, being able to be expressive and be transparent and vulnerable with how you feel and what it is that you want to do. I've seen some people who really are stressed and who are having health issues and whose bodies are responding to the stress and the change. So again, it gets to push you. It gets to push you so you know what your limit is, and you don't have to prove anything to anybody. So that's what I'm grateful for. I'm pushing myself to the limit, to as far as I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to be done. I've learned about myself that I'm going to get into my routine, find my place to root. And then when it's time for me to switch it up a little bit, I'm going to move. And just like a healthy plant, if you reroot it, replant it somewhere else the right way, it will flourish. So that's definitely something that I've learned about myself, and I cannot wait to implement that in my life. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys very, very soon. If you see me out in the streets after seeing this video, make sure you hug me. That's one thing I have not gotten a lot of since I've been here. I'm a hugger of those people that love me and that I love. A good hug will take you a long way. So I hope to see you and be hugging on you very soon. Peace, love to infinity and beyond. How far can you push yourself safely, healthfully? How safe can you push yourself without causing yourself any harm? You'll never know unless you try. I love you guys. Talk to you real soon.